everybody, Amy here with another Sunday vlog. I guess that's gonna be a thing, I don't know, we'll see. Do a couple things here to just feel okay and just be at home. And just here with my dogs. But the reason I'm in here is I want to show you just a quick scent of the day. My scent of the day is I'm trying out, I don't think you can read it, but it's Tom Ford Cafe Rose. This is like one of the, well, it's a great scent, but it's one of the nicest perfume samples I've ever had. This is another one from Tom Ford, Soleil. Then I have a couple from Creed here. I'm going to do a different video on those, but I just wanted to share that I am trying out Cafe Rose, and yeah, so far so good with that one. I'm going to be doing something today. I'm not really a person who cooks. My husband cooks, but there are just a couple things that I like to make. I'm going to do 2 of them today. The first one is really simple. It's croutons. So sometimes I just like to zone out and just like chop stuff, cut stuff, focus on something other than being really productive or, you know, getting things done just to get your mind off of stuff. I kind of like to do this sometimes, and I love croutons in my salad. I don't care if they're carbs. I like croutons in my salad. I like to crunch. So I just sort of started making these one day. Really didn't have a recipe. It's not hard. You don't really need a recipe. It's just a few ingredients and just chopping and baking them. So here we are. I'm going to show you just a few little things that you need. So here's my little cutting board. This knife, I know it's not the best bread knife. It's the knife I like to use. My husband, it's like one of his really good knives. He doesn't really like me using it on bread, but oh well, it's fine. Olive oil, garlic powder, salt and pepper, and then bread. I just keep bread in the freezer. I go to Costco, I just buy extra stuff. I usually use the baguettes, which I have some here. And it's best to have them a little bit frozen before you cut them. This is a rosemary loaf, and this is a French loaf that he got me last week because I wanted some French toast, but I just used it and then put it right back in the freezer. So, and I meant to use it before now. That's why it's still in its original package. I was going to make them that day, but I ended up not making them. So I'm going to switch angles and just start cutting these up. My camera's crooked. I'll fix it, but I just wanted to get on and say, like, I'm just trying to kind of get centered and not be so sad about the news this past week. I put on my Paloma Picasso love necklace from Tiffany. I always wear my key. It's Tiffany, and it's got the name of one of my dogs on the back. I always keep that one on. But anyway, just trying to get good vibes. Trying to send love out to the world just by being centered and not being worried. And just enjoy being home and doing some things that aren't work, that I'm not worried about an outcome. I mean, yes, I want croutons to turn out, but it's so like whatever, you know. So that's what I'm working on today. So we're going to get started. So obviously you will need, this is the bowl where you put the croutons to put the oil and salt and pepper and garlic on. And then I just keep a bigger bowl for when they come out of the oven to put them in there to just like cool and dry before you put them in. Speaking of, I need to turn on my oven. It's just 350 for like maybe 30 minutes. You need to watch them, but just until they get really nice and brown and crispy. So I'm going to set my oven. So I will tell you, it's best to have your bread a little bit on the frozen side, so it's just easier to cut I just do like, watch your fingers, do the here. Get ready for the oil. Let's just do Tallulah. What you need, baby? Be perfectly square all the time, I guess. Okay, so that's the French loaf, and honestly, that's probably enough in that bowl because you need to be able to stir and toss them. And so, here's how I do it. I just pour the oil like on the outside of the bowl. So I'm not necessarily like dousing the bread with oil, but I do want all the bread to get, you know, a little bit of oil on it so the seasonings will stick. That's the idea. So we don't want them to be like, you know, real greasy, but they do have to have some oil to be flavorful and for heating up my toaster oven too. I usually just do these in the toaster oven, but today, since I'm doing more, I'm using both the big oven and the toaster oven. I think they just need a little bit more oil. I mean, I'm sure there's a more like, you know, you don't need much oil, but I've done these enough to know you need a certain amount. So you see they're not covered or doused. So I don't put a lot of salt because you're using the garlic powder. I just do like a little, I do put a lot of pepper. It's almost like they really do need a lot of flavor, you know? Otherwise they're just going to be bland breadcrumbs. And we want them to add flavor and crunch to our salads. I want the pepper to be kind of chunky. And maybe just, I'm running out of salt actually. I need a different salt here. Let me just get this kosher salt out here and just give it a good little shake. Not a lot. Maybe like that. And maybe like no more salt, but maybe... What happened, Tallulah? What happened, honey? And just like a small little, there. I'd say that's really plenty. So I don't know if I should use the toaster oven first, or this looks like it might fit in here. Let's see. It's a little bit full, but once they start baking, they sort of shrink, so it's probably going to be okay. Okay, so we're going to pop these in, oops, the toaster oven, which is not all the way heated up yet, but it will get there soon. Now we are going on to our baguettes. They're a little bit more thawed than I like, but they'll be alright. To me, these are a little bit easier to cut than the bigger breads because you can really, you know, tuck your fingers under and be safer. See, when they're, honestly, when it's frozen more, it doesn't have that stick at the bottom like that, so just a little bit easier to cut. This is still, it's a really soft bread that's hard to cut when it's not frozen. So I think Costco has a really good bakery. We also live by a Publix, which I think Costco's the best that we have around here. But I think Publix is a close second. I think Kroger is a far third behind. I don't like getting their baked stuff at Kroger. It's just not as good. It's just not, just being honest. So a lot of times, you know, when I'm not talking to you guys, I would have my, and just put it like a movie or a show, something funny. Honestly, I like shows. I like just silly shows to take my mind off of things. I really enjoy that. So I probably will get my iPad out here and turn on something funny when I'm not talking to you guys, because we do still have another project to do. We're gonna make let's see if I'm in anything. We're still gonna make banana bread, so that's like one of the only other things I know how to make, other than guacamole, which guacamole is about as easy as croutons. I have a crybaby, like always. What's wrong, baby? What's wrong with Tallulah? Started on our rosemary loaf. You can really smell the rosemary. So this was in the freezer. You know, when you buy at Costco, you get like 2 loaves. So I just kept 1 loaf out actually, and it was really good, like for toast with just like a fried egg on it. Really good. Really nice flavors. So again, I'm not used to cutting the whole loaf, so let's see how it goes. Fingers are just not oily. Ooh, it's nice and crusty. It smells wonderful. Nice crusty edges. These are going to be good. Now these are still pretty crowded in here. Just sort of give them a toss. Okay, so I'm actually not going to toss these until one of the ovens is free. So I'm going to put this on pause. I usually grow rosemary every year. I enjoy growing it. I always forget to use it, but I do enjoy growing it. My herbs never do really well because I get too much sun in my backyard, but I do it every year anyway because I enjoy it. I've tried them indoors as well. Mixed results. The oven has a loud squeaky door. Out. Okay, I'm gonna start prepping for the other thing I'm making today, which is banana bread. Yes, more carbs. I've only made this one recipe. I will share it. I'll post it or put a link. It's the only one I've ever tried. Oh, Jackie. Jackie! He just rang his doorbell to go out. You gotta go outside, bud? Alright. I think he's just bored. So it's the only recipe, the only banana bread recipe that I've ever tried, and it works, and it's very few ingredients. I don't want... Oh, here he comes. I don't want to have to put applesauce, sour cream. No. I don't want sour cream in any of my baked goods. It might be delicious. I've probably eaten it like that before. I just don't want to do it. This recipe is just like so few ingredients. Obviously bananas, sugar, flour, eggs, water, half a stick of butter. Again, I'll post it. I'm just sort of... But I add pecans and chocolate chips because, you know, why not? So we're going to start on the banana bread as we're finishing the croutons. Again, these are not difficult recipes because I can't do difficult recipes. Honestly, I've tried. I can't. You see something. So these rosemary ones smell so good. And I'm about to put those in the oven. These are finished. Done. And I'm going to put them in a bowl to cool. So this is the batch that was in the larger oven. So I'm going to put those in the bowl to cool and then cook this last, or bake this last batch.
These smell good. I'm going to try some.
Here. Crunchy, crunch, crunch.
Bye.
Hi. Alright, are you going back to game?
Yep.
Okay. Hey girl. Oh, look at my girl. She's so pretty. So let's get back to our recipe that we have going. I've got all the things out. I actually melted the butter, 2/3 cup sugar. I've got to do the flour, the eggs, smash the bananas. I do 2 bananas per loaf. I'm going to make 2 loaves. I've got the pecans to go in there, the chocolate chips, and the sugar. And I did put a new candle because this one was losing its scent. So hopefully that's going to start putting out some nice smells. And we already have a lot of really nice smells going on because we have the rosemary croutons just filling up the air. So it's very nice. So I'm going to now put the sugar. Let's see. I always have to pull up not sugar. 1 2/3 cup all-purpose flour. 1/4 cup of water, 2 eggs, already did the butter, already did the sugar, 1 cup mashed bananas, oh yeah, baking soda, 1 teaspoon baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon salt, 1/4 teaspoon baking powder. So, like I said, there's not many ingredients. Sugar, butter, eggs, bananas, water, flour, and then just a little baking soda, salt, and baking powder. But of course I add the pecans and the chocolate chips because that makes it even more delicious. Walnuts are good in this too. So I think it's a simple recipe. That's why I like it. I think this banana bread is just a really simple recipe. I'm a little blurry. That's probably why I can make it. It's never come out bad. I've made it I've made it a lot. But I only do it like, a couple times a year. And it's not like I'm making banana bread all the time. I think baking is fun though. I tried to make chocolate chip cookies before. It didn't go well. So I don't know how much more I could do. I guess if I worked at it, I could be better at baking. This is actually the only thing, other than trying to make chocolate chip cookies once, Of course I can do Rice Krispie treats. Yeah, do those in the fall sometimes. But I digress. Let's get back to our recipe at hand, and I'm gonna add the flour. No, first I'm gonna add the water and the eggs, the bananas. Stir that up. Then I'm gonna add the flour, all the dry ingredients, and then the last thing is I just put like a 1/4 cup pecans, sort of crumble them up, and a 1/4 cup of the chocolate chips. Baby boy! Look it, he rings the bell when he needs to go out. That's all of the dry ingredients. Just gonna mix this up. I used to use a mixer, but I found it works just as well just to stir it. So I'm going to set this down and finish stirring. So all mixed, ready to go in my loaf pan that I sprayed with the oil. So we got one loaf in there, getting ready to put the next one together. Got the eggs, got butter, sugar, water, bananas, eggs. It's all the wet ingredients. Then we'll do the dry. Stir it up, put it in the greased pan. No, add the chocolate chips, pecans, put it in the greased pan. Pretty easy. So we've been baking away for a few hours now. We have our croutons done. Our banana breads are in the ovens, one in the toaster oven, one in the the regular oven. You can put, I suppose, them both in the large oven. I've done that before. They don't seem to turn out as well. I don't know if the heat doesn't distribute evenly. It was a long time ago. It's probably fine. But I just did the separate ovens today. And I have a crybaby here, so Tallulah. Oh, where's Tallulah? There she is, and there's Jackie. So this bag was in the bottom of the cupboard, or the pantry. And it has some like chewy things. Make sure I'm in focus here. Chewy things for them. And she got this out herself. She was gnawing on here, but she somehow got one of these out herself. So I told her we would do an activity for them. I'll give Brock one of these to chew, which takes him like 2 seconds. But these are to really give them something to do. They gnaw on these, the little ones. I'm sure Brock could do this too. But it just gives them something to do. And these are kind of hard to put in here. So I think I'm going to go have Paul put these in here for the little ones and give them something to do. Then I'm going to put the croutons in the new containers I bought for them. So we will be right back. Hold on, I'm getting you something to do. I think she's ready to eat too. It's kind of getting that time. So she might be just wanting to eat. How Jack jumps. Look, she spins and he jumps. Hi, Brocky. Oh, look at him. Okay. Here, everybody gets one. Here, Brock, I'm going to get you something else, buddy. Okay, I'm going to get you something really good. Okay? Hold on, buddy. So, like I said, last week Jack and I went to Home Goods / TJ Maxx to try to find some containers for our croutons, because I usually use Ziploc bags and honestly they just don't hold up. So we didn't find it, but I ended up getting a big set at Sam's Club. So I went there for a couple things and picked these up. There's a bunch in the set, but I thought these two might be good for croutons, so I'm going to put, I think, the regular ones in here and the rosemary ones in here. So let's do that. is a pretty good fit. This way they stay nice and fresh and not in just Ziploc bags. Okay, I'll do the next one. It ended up being a perfect fit. These are the regular ones. These are the rosemary ones. And none left over. They fit great. And I can really smell the banana bread, although they are not. Let me see you. Are you enjoying your toy? And here's Big Boy. He's got his. You liking it, bud? Yes, it really gives him something to work on. Oh, she went in the other room. It really, like, they just, like, need a task, you know? So I am still waiting on my banana breads. They are almost done. And in the meantime, I'm going to cut up some fruit, get a little jump on the week, little meal prep. I'll show you. I cut these up and put in individually in these with some blueberries. So grapefruit and blueberries. Then I bake these, cut them in half, put them in the freezer, and then a lot of times at lunch I will heat up one and have just like a chicken breast and a half a sweet potato. That's one of my lunches when I'm trying to eat good. But if I don't prep it, I won't do it. I won't eat it. I will just eat whatever's quickest. So that's why I'm trying to do a little prep today while I'm waiting. So still waiting on the banana breads. I know my camera's a little bit crooked. I'm not a great camera person yet. Let's start with 2 here. You about ready to eat? You guys ready to eat? You want to eat? Tallulah, are you ready to eat? I think she is. Jack? Are you ready to eat, Jack? Are you ready to eat? You are? You are? Okay. Mom will start fixing it. Mom will start fixing it for you. I'll get it ready for you, okay? Okay. Actually, we'll just continue our little part of our vlog. And we'll do feeding, okay? Get a little bit of wet food at night. Or in the evening, I should say. So Brocky gets that one. And the littles. Jack jumps at me. And he like jumps and bounces off my legs. See? Jackie, that's not Jack. Why do you guys act so bad when it's time to eat? I'm making it as fast as I can. I'm making it as fast as I can. I gotta put the camera down. I just give them like, honestly, like, I'll show you how much they get. Not a lot. Now, of course, that's how much I just like squish that into their food. Of course, Brock gets more. He gets 2 cups in the morning, and then at night he gets 1 cup and some wet food. So that's basically. Of course, he's gonna get like maybe 1/4 of a can. Jack's still jumping at me. Oh my gosh. So look who's been my constant companion for most of the day, I'd say. He likes to be where stuff's going on, you know. Well, most dogs do. But he likes to just take a nap in the middle of everything. Look how pretty he is. He's a pretty boy. Yes, he is. What a good boy. You're a good boy, Brock. So, thanks for spending a little time with me and the dogs today. Tell me what sort of things you like to do to forget about what's going on in the world for a little while. Thanks. Bye. Do you need to go outside? Are you trying to tell me you need to go outside?